What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Reynolds Outdoors. And I know it's been a while, but no, we have not stopped doing the YouTube channel or pulled away from it. We just had to take a break for a little while, but I'm back and I've got a brand new shotgun, or well, brand newish. It's been out for a little bit now, but we haven't had very many come in because we're still, the times we're in right now, it's kind of hard to get these guns in. But it's the Browning Maxus 2. And this is the Wicked Wing variation of the shotgun. I got a couple other, one other type behind me, and I'll show that one too, just briefly at the end of the video. But yeah, and I've also, for comparison, I've got one of the first gen Maxus shotguns here, just to show you some of the changes that they've made, and I'll let you guys decide if it's good changes or bad changes. But personally, I think they have made some very good changes and upgrades to the shotgun. Now, this isn't 100% apples to apples comparison, because this shotgun is not the Wicked Wing variation, but and also you'll notice the snake hydro dip, the job that we had done to it. But this is the last model of the first gen Maxus that I have in the store, and so that's all I got to show you. But I'll touch on the key differences between standard Wicked Wing and versus just the other synthetic models, or and all that good stuff. So, all right, well, let's start down here at the end and we'll work our way back and seeing what all differences is. Now, compared to the first gen Maxus 2s or Wicked Wings, they still include the 3 extended banded style chokes. That's excellent. So nothing's really changed there. It's still got the fiber optic front bead, the ivory mid bead, all that good jazz, and of course the Cerakote finish on the barrel. But now, when we get to moving down here closer to the handguard, where the magazine cap now is, which if you remember on the first gen Maxus, they didn't have that. They had this little throw lever here. Press that button, and that flips up, and you can remove your forearm there, which was cool. And you could also easily clip in a, or made it faster. You could clip in a sling swivel. Now my mouth's not working. Into the end there, so that made it a lot easier, or a little bit faster. You didn't have to sit there and unscrew your swivels, and if it's cold out, your hands are cold. They're not, you don't have really good dexterity. It was a little bit easier to remove that front sling. And you still had to undo the swivel here on the stock, but if you had to take the gun apart just for quick maintenance, clear jam in the field, not a bad thing. But I am glad that they went to a traditional mag tube, because now we have never had any come back that people were saying, hey, this thing's loose or not working right. It is nice to have that mag cap, kind of that ratcheting system. If you hear that, I mean, this thing will really, you can really anchor it down. You can rest assured your barrel is tight on there, snug, so nothing's going to come loose and rattle over time. I mean, that's just a tried and true, design there. I'm glad they went back with a mag tube, and also it made it where you can add aftermarket, magazine tubes if you go on a conservation goose hunt where there's no plugs in the gun. You can throw an extended mag tube on there and put as many shells as you want. It's cool to have that option. So yeah, and obviously you could not do that with the way the first gen Maxus was set up. That was for some people a deal breaker. If they couldn't add something there on the end, they just pass on to the next gun on the shelf. So also touching on the forearm here, you'll notice, I mean, this is slick. In any trim level of this gun, in the first Maxus, you just had a God forbid they had the DuraTouch back when they were making these guns, but they did away with that completely. No more DuraTouch. But this, it's just a polymer or synthetic, smooth, slick stock. Nothing grippy there. And on the Maxus 2s, they added these rubber grip sections here. Very nice. Anywhere you grab on the front of the gun, you're gonna be able to hold on to it. Hands get wet, whatever. You're on the nasty swamps, duck hunting, whatnot. You're gonna be able to hold on to the shotgun there. So that's kind of a page out of Beretta A400 Extreme, out of their book. But hey, that's fine. I'm cool with it. I think that's good, and I think they did a good job doing that. Some people are, oh, they're copying Beretta, but so what? It's an improvement. I'm glad they did it. Now moving on down, let's see here. So you'll notice, and I do believe they did this on the wooden. Yes, I'll go ahead and pull down the wooden, just the Maxus Hunter model. Beautiful shotgun. But this has become a standard, and I just wanted to show this to you. The extended controls, there you've got that extended charging handle and oversized bolt release. So very easy to you know, manipulate the gun, work the controls, even if you got some gloves on and you know it's too cold to take them off. So you can use the controls or operate the gun a little bit easier than you could with these little tiny nubs here, you know. But even without the it's just nice to have. Like now that I have shotguns with the oversized charging handles and bolt releases, I don't want to go back. It's just really cool. I'm glad that's becoming more of a standardized feature on these guns, like on this Hunter here. So I mean, if you're on the dove field, hunting quail, whatever, shooting skeet, it's just nice to have. You'll you know, some people worry about it being, you know, sticking out too far from the gun. I hadn't had an issue with it yet. I mean, I'm sure there's, you know, anecdotal, you know, situation stories of somebody getting it caught in something and something catastrophic happening, but I'll take that chance. I like the oversized controls. Okay, not much has changed in the bolt and the overall operations of the gun. I tried to find something different if they changed anything. I mean, we pulled these guns apart and looked at them. I'm talking about the gas, and they're gas operated shotguns for those of you who don't know. And I believe I did do a video on the original Maxus, and I believe I did one on the SX4, which is internally you know, identical. So if you want to know all the specs on that, you can go back in those videos and check them out. I'm pretty sure I did one on the Maxus. So I won't go too far into the, you know, the operations of the gun. Don't have a lot of videos on this channel yet, so you can go back. You don't have to go back too far to find the Maxus videos. So yeah, gas system's pretty much the same. Everything looked identical. They really just made big changes, you know, on the outside of the gun, which is good. I'm glad they did, because they really didn't need to make any, you know, in my opinion, make any major changes, because the SX4, the Browning Silver, the Browning Maxus, I mean, they're all using pretty much the same gas system, and it works great. It's fast, cycles fast, you know, very soft recoiling, shoots a variety of shells with that gas system, even a 3.5-inch chamber shotgun. So you're gonna have a very reliable shotgun, and it's not gonna beat you to death. Yeah, they do have a little bit more weight, and that's one of the cons about gas guns. I've talked about that in previous videos, but I'll take it. That's fine. Shooting 3.5s all day, you know, you're not gonna have a black and blue shoulder. So I really like that. All right, moving on down here to the trigger guard, which is a really cool upgrade. It was pretty big, you know, they had a pretty big trigger guard on the Maxus 1, first gen Maxus, but they oversized that as well as the controls. They went ahead and made that a little bit more open concept. So I'm really glad that, you know, again, gloves, you know, you're out there, you don't want to take your gloves off. I don't like shooting with gloves, but some people do. That's a nice feature there that opened it on up. So not gonna have trouble getting your finger in the trigger guard. It wasn't a really big deal to begin with, but hey, they added more real estate in there, so be it. Take that for what it's worth. And moving on back here to the grip, where you grip it right here, they added some more rubber paneling to the stock. Again, I like that, where the previous models, it was just slick, you know. I mean, I never really heard a lot of people complaining about it, but I guess, you know, it's one of those things, I guess you didn't know it was an issue until, you know, you knew. But it just really feels, I mean, you can really pull it in tight, get a good grip. I like it. And it's, because I think that was kind of the same thing they were trying to achieve with the DuraTouch, but we all know what happened with the DuraTouch. Just over time, this thing just get sticky on you. But this should, as long as the rubber pieces stay on the gun, and time will tell. I think that's a very cool, you know, a very cool thing they changed or added to these guns, and I hope to see that on the A5s as well. And moving on down, they've added a little bit of a rubber piece here, soft, nice soft foam-like texture. It's not rubber, it's not grippy, but it is like a soft foam piece. So very reminiscent of, you know, the Benelli and the Berettas are kind of doing the same thing. But that's good. I mean, that's, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, throw any shade at Browning for doing that. That's as good upgrades that I think all these guns that, you know, these big 3.5-inch chambered guns people are using to turkey hunt and duck hunt with. It's just going to make it a lot more pleasurable shooting experience. You're not going to be beating your cheek up, you know, with all that recoil. And the recoil pad, let's see, did they change that? I know they had the Inflex. Still the same Inflex. Maybe a little bit redesigned, but it's still an Inflex recoil pad. So if you're a big fan of that on all the other models, you know, they kept that as well. I don't think they upgraded it or changed it or anything. Maybe it's a little bit thicker. Yeah, it does seem to be. I'll let you look at that. So yeah, it's a little, not quite as thick on the first gen. They had a little bit more cushion there, but the length of pull is the same. So it's not going to change the length of pull or anything. Let's just look. Oh yeah. Yep. So all right, guys, so I don't make this video go on too long, but one of my controls, one of my favorite changes they made about the gun. Magazine cap, very big, very good change, but my favorite, and I didn't bring one out, but believe me, it comes, instead of if you bought the first gen Maxus shotgun, you know, it comes in a cardboard box. Now, shotgun at this price point, you know, it's a flagship gun for Browning. It should come in a hard case. It always bugged me that they didn't send those guns. I mean, they're going to charge $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 for some of the shotguns. It should come in a hard case. So the Wicked Wings didn't in the first gen. They still shipped them in cardboard boxes, but they come now in a hard case, just like the A5, just like all the Benellis and Berettas. They're all, you know, they're coming in hard cases. So that's a really cool, that's a big upgrade. I mean, of course, the gun's more expensive, but you got new features. And you know, I think it's very good changes they've made to this gun. This is probably one of my favorite newer shotguns. There's not really a lot of new ones we've had since the last video I've made. I know it's been a while, but it's just been chaotic around here. We're finally through Christmas, and you know, we're gonna get the videos back going. We got more people hired finally, so we're not so burnt out at the end of the day. So, well, all right, guys. I'm pretty sure I covered all of the, you know, all the key features of the Maxus 2 here. So I think I'm gonna wrap up the video. If you got any questions on something I may have, you know, went over too fast or didn't cover, please let me know in the comments. I'm trying to respond. I'm going back through, and there's a lot of comments I need to go back and try to respond to and answer some questions. But yeah, I am back. I still can't find Micah. I don't know what happened to him. I think he ran away, and you know, I don't know. I think somebody hurt his feelings. I think one of the mean comments, you know, got to him. He can't take it. So maybe I'll find him. Maybe I'll get him back in here and, you know, help him find his manhood again. So, well, all right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna try to keep this more regular. Can't promise every week, but I'll try my best. And we appreciate everybody sticking around. All the subscribers that had, you know, who are still subscribed. Channel's still gaining subscribers, so I thank all of you being over 3,000 now. Still a very small channel. YouTube's not going to sponsor, you know, they're not going to monetize any of my videos because this is harmful content. They hate gun channels, but that's all right. Hit the like button if you love guns and you like what we're doing here. And if you don't, please leave a funny comment. Tell us why you don't. I think some of that stuff's hilarious. So I appreciate all the feedback and everybody watching. So all right, guys, until next time, have a good one. Thank you.